What is up everyone, welcome back to the channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jordan and I'm a second year medical student in the state of New Jersey. So in today's video, I wanted to go in depth and show you how I organize everything in my life using Notion. While I was preparing to head off to medical school, I knew I wanted to find one way to track all of the different aspects of my life and have them in one place. In college, I used Google Calendars to track my classes and different events, but I feel like I needed something more robust once I started medical school. So about 1 month before starting medical school, I did a bunch of research and came across Notion. Notion is an organizational and productivity software that gives you a lot of freedom and creativity to create the best system for you. There's so many layers to Notion and it is quite complex, so there's definitely a steep learning curve. It's a little overwhelming at first, but once you get a hang of it, it opens up a lot of possibilities. I watched a lot of general Notion for beginners tutorials on YouTube and then designed something simple that I thought might work for me in medical school. Using what I created for myself worked for a little bit, but eventually I found medical school specific templates and systems, which is what I use now, and I'll be sure to point that out as I go. Okay, so the first thing that pops up when I open Notion is my homepage, and the first thing I want to point out is the navigation panel to the left. This is all the different pages I use in Notion, so it's how I break up the big categories of things that I do, like med school and content creation. This is my main page where I spend most of my time. I will say that this is modeled after a different medical student's Notion. His name is Manan. I think he's a student at Temple. I think he just came back from a research year, and he's also a content creator. I found his Notion template and loved it, so I decided to use it for myself. I started medical school using a much more basic system, but once I got busier, I needed something a little bit more comprehensive to organize everything. So that's why I switched to his template. So at the top here, I have a few different widgets, one for weather and one that is a progress bar for a bunch of different time frames. And as you come down a little, this is what I see first thing every day. This is a place for sort of my long-term goals and things that I want to work on. So one of the biggest things I wanted to do this year was up my cardio. So I have these different goals listed out here. The first milestone I gave myself was completing a 10K, which I did back in April. So I highlighted that in green, checked it off, and then made a new goal of running the DC half marathon, which is coming up in a few weeks. I also had a big research goal for this year, which was to submit a first author publication by the end of the year. It's not highlighted green, but I still have a few more months, so I definitely think I'll be able to hit that goal. So this area is just a nice way to remind myself what I'm working towards and a way to keep myself accountable. So the next thing I want to point out is the area right under it where I have my calendar. This is my master calendar where I have every task or event mapped out. Most of the time I keep it in the whole month view, but you can also switch it to a weekly or a daily view. So if I go to the daily view, you can see this September 2nd box. I can open it up and then it has tasks and events that I wanted to complete today. So I have a results section for a research project that I need to work on, and I'm currently filming this Notion video. So you can see I have these different domains listed to keep everything organized. And then there's this little box here, so when I click it, it's done and it disappears. So there's a few different ways I can add tasks and events to this calendar. I can either add it directly from the big monthly calendar view by just pressing that plus sign. But if there's something that pops up that is maybe an idea or something that's not fully fleshed out, I can go over here, which is the inbox. This pulls up a blank text box, and then I can say if it's an event or a task and pick what domain it's under. And if I don't enter something into one of these fields, it'll keep it right here for me to come back to. Then once I say it's a task or an event, it'll disappear and pop up into the real calendar. So sometimes I'll have like a running list for groceries that I need, that I constantly add to, and then once I'm actually ready to go to the grocery store, I'll put it in a task for a certain day and then it'll move out. Right under that is my habit tracker. The things that I should do most days go here. So I have things like lifting, running, content creation, doing my Anki. Then I can go back over the past few weeks and see how I've been doing. Then under that is a different sort of navigational bar. One of the best parts of Notion is being able to link to different pages. So you can easily navigate between different things and you can have one big hub like this. So these are my big categories like med school and content creation. And then down here are basically just lists, like book lists, different recipes, different quotes. So first I'll go to the content creation page because it's pretty basic. I base this off of a system from another med student. Well, he's technically a doctor now. He's over in the UK, his name is Karma Medic. He did one of these sort of Notion tours and I really liked his simple content creation page. So I sort of adapted it to what works for me. It's super simple. It just has all these different columns for the different phases of a video. I have ideas over here, and then I'll move it through things like scripting, filming, and editing. That's pretty much it for this page, so now I will show you the medical school page. First, I'll start over here on the left. This is another thing that I copied from Manon. He went through all of the big third-party apps and just made a huge list of all of their videos. The main one I use is Boards and Beyond, so I'll go into that page right now, and it pulls up a giant table of every single Boards and Beyond video. I use this to keep track of what videos I've watched and if I've done the associated Anki yet. So I can click on one of these videos and it'll pull up the notes that I took while I was watching it. And this system will make a little bit more sense once I show you the other side of my med school page. So over here on the right, I have a bunch of drop-down menus that show the different phases of my medical school's curriculum. Phase 1 is our preclinical curriculum, which is what we're in right now, so I have all of our blocks listed out. I've gone over how I use this in the past, so I'll briefly go over it again. So I can go into one of these blocks, then open one of the weeks, and then I have all of my lectures listed out. I have these two features to keep track of how many times I've gone over a lecture. I usually like to go through and make high yield notes like a week after I have a lecture. And then this other field is for exam review, so once I'm like a week out from my exam, I'll go back over all my lectures again, and then this is a way that I can keep track of what I went over and didn't. So coming into this lecture, the first thing I see at the top is the associated third-party resource videos. So for this lecture, there were some Boards and Beyond and some sketchy videos that covered the same topic as the lecture. And if I click on these, it will take me to the notes from that video. This is one of the best ways I stay organized when studying for an exam. Then below that is where my high yield notes are. Once again, just a way to reinforce the most important things from a lecture and make sure I have a full understanding of what I need to know. So that is the main system for my preclinical classes. I also have categories for the later phases of my school. I am a few months away from starting phase 2, which is our core clerkships. So I have all 8 of them listed out right here in the order that I will do them. And I've started to keep random notes in these pages that I've learned throughout the past few months. It's just random bits of information I hear from my preceptors, usually during like our small group sessions. It's not like directly related to our curriculum and tends to be a little bit more clinical and like granular, but stuff that I'm definitely gonna have to know on rotations. I'm trying to think of a better system for this because just having one huge page of notes is gonna get messy very fast. So over the next few months, I'll definitely try to think of a better system to organize all of the things that I learn in each clerkship, because I'm gonna be learning so much every day, and I need a way to keep all of that organized and have a way to go back and review things, or even just remember impactful patients I saw every day. And then a few of these other tabs aren't super relevant because they are pretty far away, like our advanced clinical rotations are a ways, but I do have an extracurricular section down here, so I can keep track of all the other med school related things that I'm doing, like research or shadowing. Here I have notes from my longitudinal clinical preceptorship, which I will probably move into my internal medicine notes since the doctor that I work with is IM. Here I have my research page that has a running list of all of the projects that I've worked on in the past and ones that are still currently going on. I have a tab here to show what phase the project is in, whether it's still in data collection, if we're writing the manuscript, or if it's already been accepted by a journal. Then I also have tabs for what institution it is being done through, and then also what journal it ended up in. There's only one project that's been fully accepted, so I'll go into this page. And in here, I keep track of which conferences we submitted it to and whether it was accepted for a poster or a podium presentation. I think this is gonna be really helpful down the line and ensure I don't forget something that I worked on when it comes time to apply to residency. All right, well, that is pretty much it for how I use Notion to stay organized. Like I said, I would definitely try to come up with a better system that is going to work for rotations, and I'll probably make an update once I figure that out. But anyways, that is going to do it for today's video. If you enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like below and subscribe if you want to see videos like this in the future. Thanks, and we'll see you in the next one.